If you're not actively shaping your personal brand, you're letting the market shape it for you. And that's usually bad for business. I'm AJ, CEO of The Limitless Company, and I've spent over 15 years helping founders and CEOs build personal brands on the internet that drive real business outcomes. In this video, you'll learn why invisible CEOs are leaving millions on the table, the exact strategy that turns attention into revenue, and how to build a personal media company starting today. Let's dive in. Okay, for decades, successful CEOs stayed invisible. You hid behind corporate PR, you spoke through press releases, and you let the brand do all the talking. Okay, so it worked for when customers trusted institutions. You know, like if you saw the McDonald's logo, they didn't need to know who ran McDonald's. But then everything changed. Enron, WorldCom, the 2008 financial crisis, Theranos, FTX. Trust in business leaders crashed. Today, only 37% of people trust business leaders to do the right thing. That's not just a PR problem, that's a revenue problem. Meanwhile, the digital world became reality. Social media became the lens through which people see everything. After 2020, everything fell into the digital world first, and customers, they started demanding to know who they were doing business with. So here's the shift. People stopped buying from companies, they started buying from people. Think about your buying decisions. You don't just check the product specs. You may research the founder or other human beings that are involved in the company. You may check their social media. You want to know their stories, their value, their personality. Tesla owners aren't just customers. They're Elon evangelists. Spanx customers feel connected to Sarah's journey. People choose Salesforce partly because they believe in Mark Benioff's values. Here's the revelation. You already have a personal brand. Right now, when people Google your name, they're forming opinions. If they find nothing, or worse, if they find your competitors dominating the conversation, you've lost before you've started. The trust that used to flow automatically to corporations now has to be earned personally. The CEOs who figured this out early are getting rich, while competitors are wondering why it's so hard. It's like in a world full of infinite choices, the customers are choosing leaders they trust. If you're invisible, it's difficult to be trusted. While most CEOs double down on traditional PR, like trying to get themselves on TV, hiring publicists, trying to get themselves in news, the smart leaders started doing something completely different. They stopped hiding and putting themselves front and center. They built what I call a personal media company. So think about this. You already have a network of social channels: LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Most CEOs treat these like afterthoughts, posting random updates, letting marketing handle everything. But the real winners, they treat their personal brand like a media empire. Every post is intentional. Every piece of content serves a specific purpose. Now, here's where most people get this completely wrong. They think social media is just about followers and likes. Look, those vanity metrics, they're not worthless. They're actually signals that tell you what kind of content is resonating with your audience. But here's the thing. They're not the real objectives. The real objective is what those metrics help you unlock. The three things that will transform your business are identity, trust, and leverage. So let's start with identity. This is your positioning. You want to own a specific space in people's minds. Think about Jensen. He didn't just run a chip company, he became the AI guy. That single positioning made NVIDIA announcements feel like they're a glimpse into the future. Next is trust. And trust comes from two things: transparency and expertise. So Sara Blakely sharing her rejections, sharing her struggles, didn't make her look weak. It made her look human. It made her look trustworthy. Finally, it's leverage. This is where the money comes in. Your personal brand connections become your business connections. Your reputation becomes your opportunities. Your influence become cold, hard revenue. Most people treat content like a checklist. Post something, hope it lands, move on. But the best content creators, the ones that are actually driving brand growth and revenue, know that the game is different. They don't just post randomly. They build something recognizable, something repeatable. This is what I call a signature series. It's a reoccurring creative format you become known for. It's a content structure that typecasts you in the best way. Traditionally, typecasting was viewed as like a negative thing. Like you didn't want to be typecasted as a TV star because then you couldn't go into the movies. But if you think about what typecasting is doing is it's positioning you in the minds of consumers in a certain way. So think about somebody like Harvey Specter from the show Suits. If Harvey was an actual real corporate lawyer, everyone would associate him with this guy that deals with these large corporate negotiations, doing these really big deals, helping companies save millions of dollars. So if he was out here in the real world, he'd be a top tier, sought after lawyer that people would want to hire because they've seen him, they've watched him demonstrate his expertise on camera through content. So the same kind of concept that applies in fiction TV land is essentially what you're trying to model in social media world. Because when people recognize the format, they know what to expect, and that expectation builds trust. Think of it like this. Maybe your content's breaking down industry trends. Like maybe it's sharing CEO lessons from decisions that you make every day. Maybe it's giving a behind the scenes access to the company culture or leadership style you have. Whatever the angle is, the goal is the same. Consistency without being boring. Familiar structure with fresh ideas. You want range in your topics, but rhythm in your format. So how do you build your signature series? Step 1, define your content pillars. Start with 3 to 5 categories that align with your audience and brand. For example, we talked about industry insights. It could be leadership philosophy. It could be behind the scenes moments at your office. It could be the company culture that you're creating. It could even be your personal business journey. Pick themes that feel broad enough to resonate, but specific enough to attract your ideal customer. Think about the kinds of shows that millions and millions of people watch that are still driving business outcomes. Think of real estate shows. Millions of people watch them, but only a tiny fraction are buyers. Still, they work because they build authority, they build trust, they build identity for the real estate agents. And they're getting these multi-million-dollar deals by having people buy these properties and earning hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions. Or take one of my favorite TikTokers, Colin Jones. He's the CEO of Amalfi Jets. So he runs a luxury private jet company. Most of his viewers will never charter a jet, but his content still wins because it's built around a repeatable format. They're comedic skits based on real conversations with clients, or real conversations with clients. But he covers jet sizes and seating layouts, fuel needs and logistics, and like the random quirks of high-end customers. And he does this all in a way that's entertaining, it's educational, and it's shareable. That's the signature series in action. Okay, so step 2 is you want to choose your core format, because once you know your pillars, once you kind of know the areas of conversations that you're going to be having with your audience, you want to pick a reoccurring structure to build that around. So Colin, for example, was using skits. You could also use these POV breakdowns. You could have weekly lessons. You could have 2 characters that are talking with one another. You're not boxed in, you're creating a foundation. And when the audience starts saying, oh, I know that series, then you know you've won. Step 3, you want to pick your platform. So this is where that content's going to live. Now, ideally, you're creating your content in a way that it could be repurposed on different channels. You want to start off with one channel first so that you could dominate it and really focus in on it. For example, LinkedIn has a core B2B demo. YouTube is great for storytelling, depth, and mass audiences. TikTok and Instagram are great for reach and virality, not to mention a place where you could test out a lot of different ideas. Sometimes content's going to work really well on one platform. Sometimes it's going to work on 2 or 3 platforms, but that's just something that's going to happen over time, and then the different nuances of the platforms will start to become more apparent to you as you dive deeper into it. Step 4, you want to lean into your realness. Don't over polish, don't over script. People don't connect with perfection, they connect with truth, your actual voice, your real perspective, your actual journey. That's how you build content that compounds. A signature series isn't just about going viral once, it's about building a lane you can own, a format that becomes your own show, and over time, that's what's going to make you unforgettable. Look, I know it sounds like a lot of work, but the numbers prove it works. Companies with visible CEOs see 77% higher purchase intent. Sales close 7 times faster. Customer acquisition costs drop by 40%. Why? Because people trust people, especially because of the world that we're living in right now. AI is rampant. Corporations are cold. People want to do business with people they trust and feel comfortable with. It's that human-to-human connection. In a world where everyone is disconnected from real human beings, even the inkling of connection that's made through these social media channels gives people something that they can hold on to. People trust people, and studies even show that it's 3 times more than corporations. You see, when you share your insights, only that you can share because of your position, you create what I call the trust transfer effect. Trust in you transfers directly to your company. Okay, so let's talk about cold hard cash, because this isn't theory. This is a revenue machine. Take somebody like Tesla. They spent essentially $0 on traditional advertising while competitors burned through billions. Why? Because Elon's personal brand was the marketing. Every tweet moved the stock price. His personal story became Tesla's story, making it valued like a tech company, not just another car manufacturer. And despite all the drama that's happening with the politics with him, most people still believe that he's about to create one of the biggest companies in human history. Then there's John Legere. He took the struggling T-Mobile and turned it into an industry powerhouse using what he called his not-so-secret weapon, social media. He engaged customers daily on Twitter, answered complaints, cracked jokes at rivals. And the result? T-Mobile added millions of subscribers and outran competitors. Mark Benioff didn't just build Salesforce, he became the trusted voice on business innovation. This allows Salesforce to command premium pricing that competitors just can't match. His personal following amplifies every product announcement, and this definitely supplements their marketing budget for free. Research shows that companies with highly visible CEOs outperform the stock market. That's the difference between being a millionaire and being worth tens of millions of dollars. But it gets better. There's 82% more consumer trust in companies with visible leadership. Customer acquisition drops. Top talent specifically seeks out companies with respected CEOs. Like, look at Shopify's Tobias. He saw that the time to hire for senior engineers dropped by over 60% after building his personal brand. Why? Because candidates weren't just applying to Shopify. They wanted to work for him specifically. All of this creates what I call the personal brand moat. Your competitors can copy your products, your pricing, even your business model, but they can't copy the trust that you've built personally with your market. When you become the recognized authority, the opportunities flow to you. Partnerships, media requests, speaking engagements, investing discussions. It's business development on autopilot. The math is simple. Stronger personal brand equals more valuable company equals richer CEO. Here's what most CEOs don't realize. The digital world created the most level playing field in business history. A startup CEO with the right personal brand can compete with Fortune 500 companies for talent and attention. A mid-market CEO can build influence that rivals industry giants. Why? Because social media doesn't care about your company size. It cares about your ability to capture attention and build trust. So your next steps. First, pick your positioning. What's the one thing that you want to own in people's minds? Jensen owns AI. Mark owns business innovation. Sara owns female entrepreneurship. Elon owns electric cars, robots, space. What do you want to own? Second, choose your platform. LinkedIn has a heavier focus on B2B. Twitter has a heavier focus on real-time engagement. YouTube has opportunities for deeper storytelling. Pick one and dominate it. You could repurpose the content afterwards. Third, create your signature series. Find a recurring format that you could be known for and post consistently. Fourth, just get started. The time for this is right now. 12 to 18 months from now, you're gonna say one of two things. I'm glad I did, or I wish I would have. Because by then, doing this won't be special anymore, but not doing this will make you obsolete. The field is level, the tools are available, the strategies are proven. Every day you wait is money walking out of the door. Every post your competitor makes while you stay silent is trust that you could have built. Every opportunity flowing to them instead of you is revenue that you're leaving on the table. The CEOs that are making the most money in the AI-driven future understand this one thing. Business is personal. Customers don't just buy products, they buy the person behind the brand. Your personal brand isn't just marketing, it's your path to generational wealth. The question isn't whether you should build it, the question is, how much money are you willing to leave on the table while you decide? Start building your personal media company today. Your future self will thank you. If you enjoyed this video, watch this next one. I'll do a deeper dive into more personal brand building.